Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about TSM because obviously they have a very big offseason ahead of them. I know I've been really critical of TSM over the past couple of years because they, claim to be and really are one of the biggest esports organizations in the West and in the world. They have the crazy fan base. They're making the money, they're getting these huge deals and everything, and they claim to be a top tier premier esports organization, yet their biggest team, and really as of late, all their teams, I mean, look around, what TSM esports team is doing good right now, but their biggest team, obviously their League of Legends team has made, I've said this a bunch, they've made Worlds one time in the last 4 years, and that one time that they made Worlds, they went 0-6, so obviously some big changes need to be made, and now this is the first offseason where they're heading into it with a lot of money to throw around and spend with this huge FTX contract, this being the first, season that they have that available to them, and obviously it's only September when I'm recording this. It'll probably be October when this goes out, so it's very early days, but there's a lot of pressure on Reggie and everyone involved to make some right decisions, make some right calls, and they've got started a little bit early. They have some things going. We're going to be talking about some of the official, actual moves that they've made today, what this could mean going forward for the future, and what this whole thing's going to be looking like. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy it. I would appreciate it so much. Subscribe, save today and all my latest content. I would appreciate that a ton as well. Just click that button really quick. It's fast and easy, and it helps me get closer to my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Also consider checking out my Patreon, patreon.com/IamGerm. With that being said, let's get right into this one. The big news coming out today, Zers, he retweeted this, came up on my timeline. He said, "Oh boys, it's starting." And this was TSM FTX tweeting out, "Today we bid farewell to Hauntzer, Cody Sun, and Sword." They said, "We want to thank you all for your hard work and dedication over the last year. Good luck with your future endeavors." Cody Sun saying thank you. Sword tweeting out a sad face. I don't know. Pretty crazy stuff. I don't think this is totally unexpected, but this just is making me think back to this last offseason when things were looking a lot different. People were unsure of how good Huni was going to do, and TSM brought in Hauntzer, and people were really hyped up and excited. Like, okay, if Huni doesn't work out, we have Hauntzer. And TSM fans, really like Hauntzer. He's a guy who has obviously had a lot of good years with the organization. He was a good personality. He was a very great top laner for TSM during his time. He was really, with TSM during some of the prime years of TSM, especially of more recent days. And really the last time TSM was a relevant team, not only in the LCS, but globally as well. And obviously he never made it to the LCS this year. He never really got to play. He never really got to show what he had. So it was a little bit unfortunate, but Huni did good enough. He was not bad. He never really needed to be replaced. Cody Sun, obviously, I was a little bit more hyped up and excited for. I was actually expecting, and I'm a little disappointed he never got LCS time at any point in the season. Lost was fine. He had some okay weeks and games here and there. He even had some good games and weeks here and there. But at some point, especially during the summer split, it was very clear that Lost just wasn't cutting it. For whatever reason, he just wasn't good enough. Whether he needs more time to develop or whether he's just never going to be good enough. If TSM was going to be a team that wanted to compete for a championship or God forbid, wanted to go to Worlds, you would not have wanted to see Lost on the world stage. And that doesn't mean that Cody Sun would have came in and did better. It's not like Lost was so terrible that any AD carry would have, instantly been able to come in and do better or whatever. But I think it was very clear that Lost was not cutting it, and he was not probably going to be the AD carry for the future anyway. So I would have loved, especially during, this super long regular season where it's spring and summer put together, and there's even more games in summer than in spring, for Cody Sun to at least get a little bit of time in the LCS. I'm a little bit disappointed there that he didn't. And then finally, Sword, he was this guy that TSM brought up as this, they picked him up on their TSM amateur team as like a 16-year-old, 15-year-old something. He was a super hyped up prospect who was seen as potentially one of the next good mid laners in the LCS, and he had kind of a rough year in Academy. Things did not really work out. He didn't really live up to the hype, and now TSM is obviously moving on with a new Academy mid laner. So just kind of looking at how these guys did, throughout the year, things did not go too great for TSM Academy. Overall, they actually had a rough season. They finished, what do we got here? Academy Spring, they finished 7th in the regular season, which was obviously not very good. At this time, they had Fizzy as support, and they also had Babip in the jungle. Babip is now on Peace, and he is now headed to Worlds. So TSM, will be watching one of their academy players play at Worlds while they are at home on the couch, which is a little bit funny and also not surprising. It seems like players always leave TSM and find more success elsewhere. But good for Babip, that he was able to find a good spot and able to qualify for Worlds, which is super, super cool. Then we had Proving Grounds in spring where they finished between 5th and 6th, which, whatever, that's fine. Academy Summer where they finished 7th yet again. Obviously a little bit rough towards the bottom of the academy scene. And then Proving Grounds in the summer where things went really, really bad where they ended up going 13 and 16. Obviously a totally new roster at this point. Hyper in the jungle, Takeover in mid, and Yursan is now support. He was, I think, always originally supposed to be the support, but he had some visa issues or whatever. That's why Fizzy was originally playing. But then Yursan ended up coming in. But again, things did not go good. TSM Academy was by no means a good team. And we actually take a look at the statistics and stuff. The stats, obviously, these are just looking at KDAs and everything. I didn't watch a ton of Academy. I didn't watch a ton of Proving Grounds. But Cody Sun actually had some very, very good stats. Now, historically, he is known as a KDA player. He's one of these guys that's going to play very, very risk-averse, very, very safe. He's going to try and scale for late, and he's going to try and pop off in that late-game team fight. So the fact that, he ends up with a 5.61 KDA is not surprising to me at all. But from what I'm hearing from people, he seemed pretty lackluster in the LCS. It seemed like Cody Sun having a lot of the same issues that he's always had, and a lot of people saying it was just very uninspired gameplay from him overall. Hauntzer, looks like he struggled. Maybe he was decent, but he definitely didn't dominate in Academy, nothing like that. And then Sword actually had some good stats, but whenever you have more deaths than kills, that's really never going to be too good of a thing. You're especially when you're still in Academy, you're trying to pop off, you're trying to do really, really good. So I just think that this was kind of interesting. In the offseason, some of these pickups were pretty hype. Some people were excited about Hauntzer coming to TSM. Some people were excited about Cody Sun coming to TSM. But just after 1 year, these guys never even got a chance in the LCS. It didn't work out for them in Academy. They never got to play. And things didn't really work out for the TSM main team either, with the team not even qualifying for Worlds. Again, I think Huni was fine. He was good, but he was, the 5th best top laner in the LCS, somewhere in there. When you start considering Alfari missed a lot of the summer split, so he wasn't really considered. Depends how good you think Licorice is, how good you think, some of those other guys are. To me, Huni's just middle of the pack, 4th, 5th, 6th, somewhere in there. Super unimpressive. Lost, I think, was towards the bottom, especially by the time the summer split came around, and nowhere near good enough for a team like TSM that wants to compete for championships and wants to go to Worlds and actually do something. This is TSM finally making some official moves, finally starting their offseason. Again, they have so many questions to answer, so many different ways to go. I do hope they go young for their academy team. I do hope that they, find some nice pieces, not only because they can have insane value. If you strike gold, you're able to sell somebody off to another team, but also TSM has spent the last 4 years in this weird place where they're not building for the future and not finding success right now. So I think they need to go really young, super high potential, super talented in the academy, and then spend some money and go for some solid veterans in the LCS team to hopefully start to figure out some success present day, but also build towards the future a little bit. I don't know who exactly they're going to be going with in academy or anything like that, or what's next for Hauntzer or Cody Sun. I'm sure these guys will end up with another, amateur or academy contract if they do want that. But again, I think Cody Sun, he's always been a little bit, underrated to me. I think people kind of give him a bad rap. Hauntzer, I know, is a guy people like a lot. It'll be interesting to see what the future has in store for these guys. But yeah, big news coming out today that these three are all now officially free agents. Yes, it's only September, but the offseason ball is getting started rolling just a little bit. And that's hype. That's exciting to me. I'm glad we're finally getting some official moves to talk about. But that is pretty much every video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate it so much. Leave a comment down below. What team do you think any three of these guys is going to end up on? What team do you think will pick them up, should pick them up? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!